in history, all 4 belts in the cruiserweight division will belong proudly around the waist of one man.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MCK Global. We're at the public workout here for Whyte versus Browne.
Someone's getting your copyright. Quick, look.
Look.
He's filming your IFL.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
It will, we're 100%, you'll be on.
Eddie Hearn, how are you?
I'm very well, mate, how are you?
I'm alright, are you about to do a little bit of rock climbing?
No, it's a great gym here. We're here at the 3rd space in Canary Wharf. It's an honour to be here. If you haven't been here before, I suggest you visit.
Great plug.
No, great place. People, when you talk about plugs, like sometimes, I don't really do this very often because you get so much stick, but if you go to a nice restaurant, sometimes I want to put out great meal at so-and-so, but the thing is, everyone thinks you ponce the free meal, so I won't put it out, but when you come to a good place of service or somewhere where you are happy with what you receive, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not receiving anything from the 3rd space. But I will tell you, this is a great gym. And coming in here today has made me want to go to the gym tonight.
But when you
Will I go? No.
When you have been to a restaurant, have they ever said to you, go on, send us a little tweet? No.
Mate, I would never put a tweet out for a free meal. Like, seriously.
What would you put a tweet out for a free what?
A motor,
yeah,
a boat, a plane. I'm available to be bought 100%. So if you're watching this and you have a product that you want me to sell, still approach me. But it's just not for a bit of chicken or something like that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But if I go to a nice restaurant and it's been a great experience, a great meal, great service, then I don't see anything wrong with saying, went there tonight. And of course, if they do want to give me a little free dessert after, I wouldn't say no, you know what I mean? I
noticed some of the boxers do this. It's not while they're there or even after, it's before they go there.
What, going to so-and-so tonight?
So-and-so tonight. I've heard great things about it.
We all like to hustle. So at the end of the day, if something's going for free, we ain't turning it down. But I would not go to a restaurant and say, mate, what I could do is I could stick a little tweet out of you know what I mean? Knock 30 quid off the bill, you know what I mean? 50 quid, I mean, that's another story. But
is this fight going to be violent, as you once said?
I hope so. I mean, I'm a bit reluctant to say anything after a Cody Chamberlain. And with the heavyweights, you never know what you're going to get unless it's Anthony Joshua. But let's see what could happen. Let's talk about what could happen in Whyte v Browne. They could measure each other up, but I think Dillian's going to outbox Lucas Browne, right? But Lucas Browne must understand that to win the fight, he has to land shots on Dillian Whyte's chin. Will he take the risks to do that? That's what is going to ignite this fight. And will Dillian Whyte be willing to take the risks to trade when he might not need to? Do you know what I mean? That makes sense? So, I have no idea. On paper, it should be an absolute cracker. But after a Cody Chamberlain, I don't want to say too much. Just tune in and enjoy. All we can do is make the fights that I believe will be, and I believe this will be a great fight, I really do. There's a lot on the line in this fight. The winner, I believe, will go on and fight for the World Heavyweight title. The losers out of the picture for a considerable amount of time. So, and I believe Dillian Whyte will win this fight by knockout within 6 rounds.
What do you make of what Lucas Browne was saying in the gloves are off, that basically he just needs to hit Dillian Whyte once in a 45 minute...
He feels like he has the power to knock Dillian out with one punch. He's a massive puncher, Lucas Browne, but he's got to set his feet to do it. He's got to land that shot. You can't just look for one punch in this fight. I'd like to see Dillian take chances in this fight, because I think it's not just about winning, it's about looking good as well. Because if we're going to get fights like the Joshua fight, like the Wilder fight, he has to come out Saturday night with people saying, I want to see it. Do you know what I mean? And if he goes in and looks good, I've got to stop saying that as well. Frank takes the piss out of me in the office. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I say
that a lot. Too late for that. You've been saying it for many years now.
So he has to look good, because people want to see those fights. So if he can go in there and put in a great performance with a devastating KO win, we can come and shout from the rooftops and say, this is his time, we want that shot now. Maurizio Sulaiman, he's number 1 in the WBC. Make him mandatory for Deontay Wilder. You know, if you want, make the Brazil fight for a final eliminator, whatever. But we have to, you know, he has to be in the fight. This is live on HBO across America, live on Sky. What an opportunity for Dillian Whyte. What a platform. So let's go, let's entertain, let's get the win, of course. Let's not be gung-ho and reckless, but let's entertain. It's going to be about 8,000 in the O2 on Saturday. It's going to be a mental atmosphere. It's a brilliant card. Live in the UK, live on HBO across America. It's there for you, mate. It's on a plate. Go and take it.
Where do you realistically see Dillian Whyte's potential world title shot then? If you're trying to make, obviously, Joshua Wilder, if he comes through Parker.
I think it's very simple. I think there's a real chance that Dillian could fight Wilder in June, because Joshua isn't going to be ready to box till August, September, right? The only question regarding Joshua Wilder, and by the way, Anthony Joshua has the fight of his life next Saturday, so we'll come back to that. The only way that fight's going to happen is in September to December of 2018. So if Wilder wants a fight, and by the way, a fight that's going to massively raise his profile for the Joshua fight, Dillian Whyte's there. That fight's there, and they're talking about, you know, before if it was, you know, remember when Shirley Winkle come out and said, if he fights Whyte, we'll do a 2-fight deal. No problem, we can look at that. But all I'm saying is that AJ, if he takes the Wilder fight, wouldn't take that fight till September, October. If he fights Wilder, the only question is, does he take a fight in August, September? Josh.
Well, against someone like Jarrell Miller.
Correct. In America, to help grow that fight even bigger as well. Honestly, this heavyweight landscape at the moment is, anything can happen. But what I will tell you is, the same as what I always tell you, Anthony Joshua wants to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. The only thing on the mind right now is to add another belt to that puzzle, that jigsaw, which is next Saturday. And then, after that, the Wilder fight for the undisputed championship of the world.
Will he definitely fight 3 times this year?
Who?
Joshua?
No.
So it could be twice, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, if we were to make the Wilder fight quite soon, we may just say, let's make that in October, November, December, and that's the one.
And wait for that,
If we make it in December, perhaps we do a fight in August. So everything's in play. But you don't have to worry about, you know Anthony, right? You do not have to worry about the Wilder fight happening. That is a much easier fight technically than the Joseph Parker fight. I'm not saying this is dangerous, but that for me is, the Parker fight is a tougher fight than Deontay Wilder.
Are you up for the test?
Because I know you the best. Have you seen Joshua's eyes when he does it in half good? He goes, are you up for the test? Because I know I'm the best.
Make the date.
Make the date. Me. I like Deontay Wilder. Although he's sort of like, I'm not sure if he's coming, because he's sort of cried off a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. He wants to get in the ring.
I said this to you.
Yeah, I know, but Anthony did an interview and said, like, we ain't made a fight. Like, I'm just fighting Joseph Parker. And they're like, oh, we only want to come if we can get in the ring. It's a bit. I was like, no, come to the fight. We can talk about the fight. You're working for Sky, so you're going to be shouting at each other. So it's a little bit of a standoff at the moment. So.
Get him in the ring. What's wrong with you?
Listen.
What if it come down to that, whether he wanted to go in the ring or not?
It's not a case of like, I'm only coming if I get in the ring. It's like, he's going to be everywhere.
He's watched our interview, thought, do you know what? That's a good idea, KUGAN.
Yeah.
Let's roll with that.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see. Just obviously 2 notable fights on the undercard, 2 British title fights and 2 50-50 fights.
The Whyte-Browne card is a brilliant night of boxing. Great card. I mean, Buglioni v Johnson, British and Commonwealth light heavyweight titles. What, mate? How you doing? Oh, he's too busy on the old rock one. The Buglioni-Johnson fight is a brilliant fight. You know, Callum Johnson has been a little bit inactive lately, injury, but he is a ferocious puncher. He's unbelievably talented. Frank Buglioni is a brilliant fighter who's always in great fights. This is the final piece of that jigsaw to win the British title outright. It's the first time, I believe, in history anyone would have done it by beating undefeated fighters all the way through. You know, winning the title from Jose Burton, defending it against Ricky Summers, defending it against Craig Richards, defending it against Callum Johnson. I see it as a 50-50 fight, brilliant fight. And then Lewis Ritson against Scotty Cardle for the British lightweight title. Brilliant fight. You know, Ritson's looked unbeatable recently, but Cardle's coming in this with a bit between his teeth as the challenger. And although the Joe Murray performance was impressive, Scott Cardle poses a whole nother level of challenges to Lewis Ritson. He moves well, he's a very smart fighter, he's got the bit between his teeth, it's a must win for Scotty Cardle. And Lewis Ritson at the moment, we don't know how the response of people has changed his mindset. You know, at the moment, he's walking on water, isn't he? Everyone's saying, oh, Lewis Ritson, wow, pulling it, oh, Lewis, oh. But has that got to his head? If it hasn't, if he's the same humble kid, which I think he will be, it's a very, very tough fight for Scotty Cardle. But it's a brilliant fight. Del Boy Chisora on the card, Jamie Cox on the card, Craig Richards, Louis Lin making his debut. Some really good young talent who you don't always see on our shows. Chris Congo, Richard Riakapori, packed night of boxing, and a really strong card. I've got to say, I made a resolution to myself that I will only put on really strong cards from top to bottom. Cards that I can genuinely look at myself and say, I can't wait for this. Not you, me. And this is a little bit selfish, but I think it's good news for fight fans, because when you put on a show that's not great, the response isn't great, and it's sort of, you don't feel like it affects you because I'm Billy Big Bollocks, aren't I? Fuck what people think, excuse my language. But deep down, subconsciously, you can't help but read the response. And when you put on a good show, there is a real positive feeling. Actually, despite being slightly unpopular, when I put on a good show, people give me a fair crack at the whip and say, you know what, fair play, this is a good card. So I'm sort of buzzing off that, and it's making me happier as a person, even around the missus at home. You know what I mean? So these next couple of weeks, I'm absolutely buzzing for. People are saying, what a card, I can't believe it. Look at Cardiff, look at the people that are on, look at this fight, Whyte-Browne. And it's all about momentum, it's all about the karma, you know what I mean? The feng shui. And I'm feeling great, and I'm excited. I want to go to Saturday as a fan. I want to get down to Cardiff and put on a fight week and a card that people will remember for a long, long time. And Joshua Parker is one fucking hell of a heavyweight fight, trust me on this. And the card is monstrous. And let's just sit back for a minute and realise we have 78,000 people going to Cardiff next Saturday for a world heavyweight unification. The first time in British history that two reigning heavyweight champions have boxed each other. The first time in world boxing history that two fighters with 100% records have boxed each other in the heavyweight division in a unification fight. This is a... Let's look around us. The fuck's going on here? We're absolutely having it off. We're having a party next week in Cardiff. Are you coming? Are you up for the test? Because I know I'm up for the test. No, but do you know what I mean? Let's just sit back and realise what we're doing here. We are the envy of the boxing world. Let's sit back. Let's watch next week. Let's be there in the arena. Let's watch the production, the fights, the names on the card, the quality of the fights, the titles, the world heavyweight unifications, and experience British boxing in a way that I don't believe it's been broadcast before. It's been portrayed before. I just think that this is such a wonderful time. Yeah, we know that people are going to get criticised and not everyone's always going to be happy, but let's just enjoy this for what it is. This is a remarkable event between two remarkable, undefeated heavyweight world champions. So let's get excited, let's get behind everyone, and let's say we are number one. Not just me, but British boxing, we are number one. We're smashing up the world right now. They're all going to be watching next week, live on Showtime. I think there's about 6 countries in the entire world where this fight will not be broadcast. And I said to Frank in the office, if you don't nail those 6 next week, you're out of a job. Every country in the world will be watching next week in Cardiff saying, wow, wow. And that's what we want. We want people to look at us, British boxing, and say, wow. Because you know what? For years and years it's been, oh, it's about America, oh. No, it's not. It's about here. We are breaking the boundaries here. We are showing people how it's done. We are creating the monster fights. We are filling the 78,000 seater stadiums. Well, I am, and AJ is. But let's enjoy it, because this may not happen again, this little period that we're having. Thank you.
Okay. Joyce, Chisora dead in the water.
Yeah, I can't see it happening. I mean, I think...
What is it? Is it the money?
I just think that, you got the Hay against... just cut that for a second.
Eddie, Chisora and Joyce dead in the water?
Yeah, I can't see that fight happening. I mean, look, Chisora wants to fight a world name that's going to take him to hopefully a big shot. I think another problem you got is Chisora and Hay. Like, Hay's played it completely the wrong way. Like, I know what Davey's trying to do. He's trying to goad him into the fight. But you don't really do that with Derek. And, the money, it's not like Dillian Whyte money that he was, so it is good money.
Is it more than the European title fight money?
It's about the same. Yeah. But again, that fight was a fight that he believed, Derek, he took less money for that fight because he believed he'd win the European title and it would go on and he would, it would put him in the world rankings, it would put him in a great position. So I just, Joe Joyce is a really good fighter. It's a good fight, it's a tough fight for both guys, but I don't see what he really gets out of a fight like Joe Joyce. And when you represent someone like Chisora, the only way I would tell Chisora to take that fight is if the money was too good to turn down. And it's not. So I can't see him taking that fight.
Is there any news your end on Tyson Fury? Spoke to obviously Frank Warren yesterday. And,
Saturday, mate. You alright?
Hi Dylan.
What's going on, you guys?
You alright? You got the beads on today, just wondered.
What's wrong with you?
No, have you got the beads
What's
on?
wrong with you?
Careful, you got a fight. You got. Oh God, you're lucky.
Drop it.
I'd love that for real.
Just drop it.
I think more people would like to see him do that.
I was a bit scared for you, to be honest with you. You would have been straight down there.
Yeah, keep walking. Keep walking now. Hold me back. Frank Warren indicated that Tyson Fury's decision has already been made up, but that's all Frank said, really.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't spoke to the guys. I was approached by his lawyer. We had different ideas of the opponents and the level of opponents that he was going to come back to. I know he needs to come back with a couple of easy fights, but there's easy fights and there's fights that I'm just going to get absolutely crucified for. We made them an offer. We had a chat. That was. I mean, I don't expect that person to be us. Quite honestly, I mean, I think our offer is. I still think it would be a good place for him to be, but I think, I don't think he's going to get necessarily the fights that he may have in mind with us. But listen, again, who knows? I don't know if he's made his decision, but I don't think it will be with us.
Public workouts going on now. Obviously, we want to see you every day this week.
Oh, lucky you.
Every day.
AJ Media Day tomorrow. Press conference on Thursday. Lively. Friday weigh-in. And Friday Parker open workout. Saturday fight night. Tuesday press conference next week at Sky. Wednesday will be a public workout in the evening in Cardiff. Thursday will be the undercard press conference. And Friday, again, I tweeted about this earlier today. It's Good Friday next week, okay? So it's a public holiday. It's going to be crazy busy at this weigh-in. So we're going to ticket it. There's going to be information dropping in the next 48 hours about the Anthony Joshua weigh-in. Again, let's get down there, support. That's going to be an event within itself. So, all good. And now just planning our events for May. Obviously, we've got McDonald fighting in Inoue on May 25th. We've got Hay Bellew on May 5th. We're going to do probably like a sort of giant size next gen in between those. And we're looking to go to Newcastle Saturday night fight night and drop one more into that as well, maybe end of May, early June, and then it's the World Cup.
Have you considered going into MMA?
Personally, or as a business?
Not you, Haystacks.
Big Daddy, mate, don't mug me off.
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I think that I would do a great job representing.
Like the British Dana White.
Yeah, I mean, Do you know what I said to Scott Quigg when I was in LA? Like, a great job that I'd be really good at, and is a lot less hassle, is being a manager or advisor. Because I know the mindset of a promoter. So I would always get the max for the fighter every time, and there's no hassle. You do the deal, you collect the money, you just turn up and enjoy the night. So I think that's what I'll do in my later life. And maybe in MMA, maybe I should start representing fighters. I don't know.
For the time being, I'd stick to the boxing.
If you're out there and you're a major UFC star, Connor, if you're watching, I'll get you the max every time.
Obviously a new, but star headlining Liverpool, Darren Till.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is big for Liverpool.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think that would be a great night for the UFC in Liverpool. I don't really follow it, but I know Darren Till is like an emerging star. Brilliant, great for the city, and I know that knowing the city like I do, that night will be crazy at the UFC. But before that, on April 21st, we have about 300 tickets left for the return of Amir Khan, and that one, well, pre-fight week, will be sold out. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, get that, and then go and support Darren Till in May as well.
Definitely, that's on a bank holiday Sunday as well.
I was going to do a show that night.
Yeah.
I was going to do a show on the 25th of May, but that's Champions League night, and it was like, not great. Then I was going to do a show on the Sunday, this Sunday. It doesn't really work well with the schedules, and now you've got UFC as well, so swerve that one.
All right. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to
Cheers,
I4
mate.
TV, and we'll catch you soon.
You will.
First time in history, all 4 belts in the cruiserweight division will belong proudly around the waist of one man.